Hello again, and what is hip, and welcome to another video. Today is a little more laid back. I'm in the midst of a whole bunch of schoolwork and all of that, and you know, it's actually kind of fitting because back in the day, one of the things that I would do when I was stressed or busy with school, I guess elementary school at the time, was play Animal Crossing City Folk, and that is the game I want to talk about with you guys today. And this game is kind of the black sheep of the Animal Crossing series. Tends to get the most hate out of all of them, and some of it is very much justified. It was basically the first Animal Crossing where all of the villagers got some pretty intense therapy sessions, and they were all they weren't mean anymore, and it was the first Animal Crossing that really kind of made them all just different shades of nice. Wild World on the DS started this trend, but it wasn't until City Folk where they basically just got rid of, you know, anything mean with the characters. And you know, it was the introduction of the City Plaza, which was cool in some aspects, meaning that you could visit all the shops and all the special characters that would only come to your town once or twice a month. You could visit them anytime, but on the other hand, you also got rid of that. So it kind of made visiting them significantly less special. And, you know, that among some other things, people complained that it was just a TV version of Wild World back in the day, which was partly true. There wasn't much new added to City Folk from Wild World. But you know, in my opinion, I really think that it is the last Animal Crossing of the old series. Some might say the New Leaf on the 3DS was the last one, but I think it really kind of ended with City Folk. But that's just my opinion. But one thing that we can all unanimously agree with is that the music in City Folk is fantastic. And I like it significantly more than New Horizons, and just a wonderful game. But what I really wanted to talk about was the magic that City Folk brung to the table, really for the first time ever, and that was online play. And it was first introduced with Wild World, with the wireless local play. I'm not sure if there was actual online play on Wild World, but City Folk, if not the first, was one of the first to bring internet play to Animal Crossing. And this opened up a whole new world, and I want to talk about my experiences with this, because this really was my first foray into online gaming, pretty much. It really started with Animal Crossing. And I'm going to tell you about that now. So, for those of you who don't know, Animal Crossing City Folk had this little accessory called We Speak that was pretty much only used for Animal Crossing City Folk. And it was a little accessory that allowed you to basically talk to people over the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. And I didn't have this, so, you know, it made conversing with people on the game significantly harder, so you had to use an on-screen keyboard, which was a pain in the butt, but you know, it got the job done. And as a kid, you know, my parents did not really want me having a wireless microphone to talk to random people, but little did they know that I was a member of forums, and it was called the Belltree Forums, and this was really the first forum that I ever got into, and it was the last forum that I really got into. And it was basically a forum where everybody got together and talked about Animal Crossing, and they'd share friend codes, and they'd coordinate events and special dates and all of that stuff for people to play on City Folk, to get together and to do all this stuff. There was trading. There was like, oh, I'll give you 99,000 bells for this golden shovel, or golden axe or something like that. And it was a real community, and it was super cool. And I was just, I was in 5th grade at the time, part of that forums, and I actually met a lot of people, and it added to the richness of what some would argue to be maybe a somewhat vanilla Animal Crossing game into making it just an amazing Animal Crossing game. I remember back in the day, I had met a couple of people, and every week we would put together a sumo wrestling tournament. And what you would do is you'd make a little square using pattern tiles, and you would put little pitfalls around the little ring or the square that you made, and you would just basically run into each other and try to push each other off the edge into the pitfalls, and whoever won got the prize. Usually it was in the form of bells or maybe some rare furniture or something. And it was a lot of fun, and maybe not good for a kid to be introduced to that kind of gambling, but it is what it was. And it was just super, super cool, and you got to meet some really cool people. I heard stories, especially from like Happy Console Gamer and some other folks, who are older than me and grew up in an earlier era where forums and such, like AOL online and all that stuff were really how you met people. Unlike today where we have social media and all of that. And so it was my, very late version of the whole forum life, and meeting people through forums and doing crazy things. And I had a calendar back then on my bedroom wall, and I'd write down the special dates, like, oh, I'm going to be doing this on this day with said user from the forums, and I'm going to go to their town, or they're going to come to my town, or we're going to coordinate some sort of special contest and all of that. And it was just so much fun. And City Folk really was a game that promoted unity and community with people. There really wasn't much to do, but it really forced you to use your imagination to create things to do, like doing the sumo wrestling match or flower contests, or who can make the most hybrids in a certain amount of time. And it really just made that Animal Crossing game one of my favorite games of all time. My favorite Animal Crossing will always be the original. It was my very first, renting it from Hollywood Video and all of that, and the animals were so cruel in that one, but it added to the fun, and I really enjoyed that. But City Folk also was I thought it was quite a good looking game. Wild World really brought a whole bunch of new innovations to the table. It was the first to bring that kind of circling globe view to the series, and City Folk expanded upon that. It also brought back multi-tier lands, so multi-level lands for you to trek across, which was written of in Wild World. And in many ways, I really think it is the definitive Wild World edition of Animal Crossing, minus the City Plaza, which I personally am not the biggest fan of, because it did get rid of a lot of special visits and all that from people, or from the animal vendors and stuff. But just really a wonderful game. It also brought the club into play, so you could go and see KK Slider. And it really was the first Animal Crossing to kind of make you feel like you were a part of this world. That was one of the benefits that came with the City Plaza, because you could plan things out and be like, oh, I'm going to go to the city today, and oh, I'm going to see KK Slider, perform on Saturday at 7 o'clock, and I'm going to do this and that. And it was actually, there were some really cool aspects to the City Plaza, and you can also go get your hair done. And there was more customization for your character than ever before in an Animal Crossing game, while still maintaining that kind of short character design before it was changed in New Leaf, when everyone decided to hit their growth spurt and grow 10 feet. And it was a really good time, especially being a kid at that time. being in elementary school, because it gave me almost a sense of purpose, like a job. Like, okay, I gotta plan this event, I gotta do this, I have to advertise it on the forums and invite people and do all this and get prizes ready. It gave me a sense of independence at a very young age, you know, a pseudo independence. You know, I just, you know, I remember throwing these parties. I remember doing that. I remember setting my timer. Oh, I have to log on at 11 o'clock on New Year's Eve so we can get the party started and have some festivities and all that. You know, you met some crazy people too. I remember I met one guy, you know, and I was young at the time. I met a guy who was claiming to be one of the character designers at Sega, and he said that he designed Blaze the Cat from Sonic Rush. And me being, you know, a kid, I didn't doubt him. I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. I'm meeting this, you know, really special guy. And of course now I know he was not, but he was super nice. He brought me a bunch of hacked items into the game. I remember he gave me a lightsaber, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever because I didn't know how to hack. I still don't know how to hack. But, you know, it just gave so many unique interactions. I remember I met a girl on there once, and I had developed a crush on this girl that I was talking to, which is, you know, funny. I mean, it's crazy to think, you know, developing a crush on an Animal Crossing character that you communicate with. I mean, it's so funny. And I would tell all my friends at school, oh yeah, I'm gonna hang out with this lady character from Animal Crossing. They're like, wow, that's really cool. And, you know, just everything about the online aspect of that game was basic, but it was perfect for the time and for a kid of that age. And yeah, you know, that's pretty much all I have for this video. I know it was on the shorter end, but again, I'm pretty busy right now, and I'll have a longer video up in the coming week. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about why I love Animal Crossing City Folk. You know, it's the black sheep, but I really was the first game in general to give me a sense of independence and a sense of major creativity, and it was just a wonderful time. But do you guys have any experiences with the online play of City Folk, or just City Folk in general? Do you love that game? Do you hate that game? I would love to know in the comments below. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.